What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to HCS Pro Talk, your weekly Halo Esports podcast. This is episode 421 for the week of December 21st, 2025. That's how this week's episode is. Favorite Infinite HCS moments. So my name is Josh, by the way. For those that are wondering, here's how the topic of this week is going to go. I want to dedicate this episode to reminiscing about like my favorite gameplay moments through the last 4 years. So not necessarily like moments during the event or outside of the event and stuff like that, more so like storylines and gameplay moments that happened throughout the last 4 years of competitive Infinite. Because basically what I'm using that as, future episodes can be used for like favorite moments outside the event, so on and so forth. Stuff like that. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today. So therefore, on this episode, we're taking a trip down memory lane with my favorite Infinite HCS moments. But we can't start with that because we have to start with some competitive news. One little piece for you, and it's not necessarily news, more so a potential wake-up call, a potential peek into the future, if you will, because I titled this A Look into Esports Future. This is by Unit, the CEO of Space Station Gaming. And he stated, "We will see more consolidation and merging with esports, especially as regional-based organizations push to become more global. There was too many teams for the amount of opportunity that exists in the space, so it does feel necessary. The next few years will be very interesting, and the landscape should look a lot different." So, I did just hear another beep in the hallway, which definitely means I need to replace the battery in that, so I will be doing that after this episode of the show. I know that was very random, but I just wanted to make that point understood. Yeah, the esports landscape is it's difficult. It's very difficult. Where you may have, like, you have organizations like an Optic Gaming or a T1, and I know that we're talking polar opposite sides of the esports spectrum here in terms of like games that these organizations are in. But you have organizations that are staple, that have been around for a very long time, that have their roots embedded, that are quote unquote the good ones, right? And then you also have organizations that come in, don't know what they're necessarily doing, don't understand the landscape, don't understand the scene, and things can go sideways or things can go sour very fast. And esports in general, it feels as though it's a very volatile market, and there really isn't a lot of regulation behind it. A lot of it still kind of feels grassroots in a bad way, if that makes sense. But at the same time, we have a Call of Duty League, we have the League of Legends, like World Championship. We have Valve with Counter-Strike and Dota. We have these major organizations and these major games. But those are like the tip, right? That's like the tip of the iceberg. Then you have so many other scenes and so many other games, and them trying to figure things out and how they're going to do things and how they're going to allocate funds and how they're going to make money, so on and so forth, how they're going to remain sustainable, that we just don't know. So, I would take Unit's statement to heart. He's been in this scene for a while now, and he's seen a lot of things. Space Station has seen a lot of things. They've been in a lot of titles. And yeah. So I would take it to heart. Not to sound all doom and gloom or anything like that, but just kind of keep it in the back of the head. You know what I mean? Keep it in the back of the mind. And kind of use it as a reflection piece as we move into the next few years to see where the landscape is moving forward. Spring, thank you so much for the 24-month resub. That's 2 years. You get a woo! Thank you so much, man. Greatly appreciated. I hope the stickers make it to you soon. Thank you very much. And that's it for the competitive news. It's time for upcoming tournaments of the week presented by noobcombo.com. Check out noobcombo.com for all your Halo esports needs. On Saturday, December 27th, we have the Fun in the Mombasa Sun 2v2, which is taking place. Diode or Tyler, I think you guys are competing in this. I don't know entirely for certain, but I think you guys might be. And if you are, best of luck. And that's it for the upcoming tournaments of the week presented by noobcombo.com. Check out noobcombo.com for all your Halo esports needs. Scrim tournament league recaps. The European Halo Winter League FFA took place. There's look at that. He says, hey, we are playing in that. Look, see, fucking, you're like Maddie Rums in this regard, where I just say your name and poof, there you are. Look at that. Best of luck to you, Diode. HCS Go Talk, yo, Hardy, thank you so much. You're too kind. Also, Redneck Randy, welcome back. But the European Halo League Winter FFA took place. In fourth place went to Hi, I'm Ninja. In third went to TK2. Second went to Finners. I have no idea what their name actually is. And first place went to Glory. And then we had the SWAT Nation Snipe Miss 4v4 results here. And third place went to Knuckles. Oh, God. Oh, shit. Sleepsters. I think it's Sleepsters. Ferk and Harsh. In second place went to Fob, Tyler, Mudchris, and Tyra Snipes. And in first place went to Leor, Acid, True, Get Domed, and Nap Times. Because, of course, Nap Times is there. With a Z. Nap Times with a Z. Radnade with the 12-month resub. That's a year. You get a woo! Thanks so much, Radnade. Greatly appreciated. Fuck, man. That's a year. Far too kind. Thank you guys very much for the resubs. That's it for the Scrim Tournament League recaps. We're going to run right into the topic of the show. I'm going to do a little reminiscing here. I want to talk about some storylines and some of my favorite moments over the last 4 years. Hardy, yo, what the fuck? Hardy with the year as well. Thank you so much. You get a woo! Greatly appreciated. God damn, all these anniversary subs coming through. Shout out. Shout out. Thank you so much. So basically, yo, what's up, Mark? Onset Beck. Welcome back. Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, goddamn. I hope you, yo, Onset with the 6-month resub. You get a woo! Thank you so much, man. Goddamn. I hope you and all of the HCS talent team are having the time of their lives right now. I know that there's still some uncertainty for 2026 in the future in general, but I hope that you guys are all maintaining work. I hope everything's going well, and wishing you all the best. Says, can confirm we're all bored as fuck. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be nice and sincere, and you're like, oh, man, we're all just bored. It's fucking shitty, dude. Oh, whoops. My bad. Fuck. All right, let's reminisce. Let's talk about our favorite moments of the last 4 years. Now, again, I'm going to strictly, this episode, I want to strictly talk about the like gameplay moments or just like storylines that had happened over the course of the last 4 years. Yo, 40 ounce of freedom with the 2 gifted. Thank you so much for the 2 gifted subs. You get a woo woo. Thank you, man. Greatly appreciated. So I went back in the bag on this. And I'm going to break it down event by event, year after year. Okay. And this isn't going to be like super long winded or anything like that. So don't worry. But just pulled some highlights over the past 4 years. And if anybody has their favorite gameplay moments over the last 4 years, please put them in chat and we can talk about them. So, kicking things off here with Raleigh in 2022. And I also should state this. I'm focused on the LANs. I'm not focused on like the regionals that took place for the fucking 1 year that we had and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, we're not talking about those. So in 2022, we had the first major of the Infinite era with the Raleigh kickoff major. Like Onset said, it was post-COVID. Everybody's wearing masks, or hopefully we're wearing masks, because I know a lot of people were not. And I don't care what people's fucking stances on COVID were. If you weren't being safe, you were being stupid. It's plain and simple. You can hate me for I don't give a shit if you hate me for that take or not. But regardless, the first major of the year, everybody back under the same roof once again. This is a brand new game that released. We're all super excited about this. The turnout in the open bracket was insane. That would not happen again, unfortunately. But hey, a lot of teams signed up. A lot of fun was had. And you guys remember the Router 2 situation? You guys remember that? That was at the beginning of 2022. That was when the game released. Yo, Rad with the fucking 300 biddies. Thank you so much. In Spring, don't do this shit. But thank you for the 5. You think, motherfucker. Thank you for the 10 bits. Yes, 2021 into 2022. You were correct, Deadline. But either way, you guys remember the Router 2 situation? Because that happened at the very beginning of the game. And I know this, we're talking about like favorite moments, but it was really funny that happened. But going to the good shit here, this was Penguins' first major win. And it was actually that major win kicked off a Sunday streak that wouldn't be broken until Worlds 2025. The final event of the Infinite HCS era. So we talk about a very positive thing, then we lead into a not so positive thing there. A little foreshadowing for you. But either way, Spring, thank you again for the 5 bits. I hate your combo shit. Stop it. And then, of course, we can't talk about Raleigh if we don't mention United taking second place. It was, I believe, if I went back and I looked through things correctly, it marked every player's best placing in major Infinite competition on that team. I don't think there was ever a major LAN event where any of the players on that team placed better than when they did at Raleigh in 2022. Shout out Bizarre. We don't need to see Onset. We're talking about my favorite moments of the Infinite HCS era. You know what's not included in my favorite moments, Mark? Bizarre, Argyle, the versatile trash pile, the mangly dangly, as you say, the fucking sword on Catalyst, as much as I liked Catalyst. All that shit. All right? Shout out Rockets on Streets. Yo, oh my God, I forgot about that. Holy shit. Yo, remember when we had Streets Oddball? Remember we had Streets Oddball? Man, what a time to be alive. God damn it. Dip, thank you so much for the 713 sub. You get a woo! Welcome back, Nibbler. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciated. So yeah, that's what I really had for Raleigh. It was the first major event of the Infinite era. It was it wasn't even bittersweet. It was such a sweet fucking moment for everybody to come back together for a brand new game as well. Like, it was so fresh in everybody's minds. Metas have truly not been figured out at that time. I mean, shit, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in chat, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong here, but this was, correct me if I'm wrong, did Raleigh still have the one-shot melee with the Mangly Dangly? Was this before the Mangly Dangly nerf? I think. I could be wrong here. I could be wrong. Riz says, believe so. Ansa says Raleigh was peak Mangler. Yeah, it was definitely one-shot melee then. Holy shit. That was crazy. Holy shit. So yeah, Raleigh was a very special event. Everyone was super fucking stoked for it. There was a lot to look forward to. It was the beginning of the first year of Infinite, and I mean, shit, we made it through 4 years when I never thought we'd get a year 4. So, fucking awesome. Fucking awesome. Formal beating Optic, dropping 20 in game 5. Formal's 20 was insane. Yeah. Just crazy shit. Let's go to Kansas City. Let's move over to Kansas City here. And I don't care what anybody says. This was not, Riz, I'm going to fucking ban you. This was not a KCP home event. Goddamn. They didn't even have a goddamn booth. They didn't even have a fucking booth. All right? They didn't have a fucking booth. God damn it. I wanted to buy a jersey before that shitstorm, before that organizational shitstorm. Like, I wanted to buy one of their jerseys. And then what the fuck happened? I couldn't because they didn't have a goddamn booth. You want to call it a home event? You want to call it a home fucking event? Have a goddamn booth. You know what the funny part is? Like, I understand if you couldn't have one in the event. Laird, yes, Optic has had a booth in the past. I know that, like, maybe they weren't allowed to have an actual booth in the event, but they could have had fucking something set up outside. You bastards. Either way. Sentinels getting Royal 2 back and proceeding to win the event. Yo, Hardy with the 5 gifted. Let's go. You get a woo, 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 woo. Thanks so much for the 5 gifted. Kansas City Pioneers. Spring King. That is what KCP is. That is what KCP is. But Royal 2's back. Royal 2 is out of Router Prison. He is back on Sentinels, and they proceed to win the entire event. Both Quadrant and Ascend getting top 8 at the event means that was the first time in Halo esports history that 2 EU teams take top 8 within the same international event. The winner's final, Sentinels against Optic Gaming. There's a Game 5 Slayer on Recharge. And for those who don't remember the play, the Royal 2 shock rifle play on Formal with camo on Bat Ledge. You guys remember that shit? That was fucking crazy and funny. It was crazy and funny. But that play happened. And then probably one of the biggest, this was the biggest move that had happened after Kansas City, but Renegade left Cloud9. This was one of those things where on paper you look at and you're like, how the fuck? Like, why? But yeah, as we would come to find out from Renegade over the course of the 4 years, is that he wants to go to a place where he believes and he knows he can win. And he proceeds to do exactly that a little later on, and we'll talk about that later. Moving on to Orlando. The main thing that I have here for Orlando is Optic putting on a preview of what to expect for the first Infinite World Championship. They put on a show. They put the work in ahead of the event. They came out swinging, and they fucking did a phenomenal job. And they were the favorites going into Worlds. The question was whether or not they'd be able to do it. And then going into Worlds, Cloud9 going from losers round 1 to ultimately losing in the grand final. And as we're going to learn later on throughout Infinite's life cycle in the competitive space, teams were able to make it from losers round 1 to winning the whole thing. But Cloud9, unfortunately, were not the first to do so. Optic winning Worlds, including the first time for all the players on the roster, and Formal becoming the second player ever to win world titles in both Call of Duty and Halo, with the first, of course, being Shotzzy. And then another point to note here is that Lucid won the regular season MVP in year 1. Moving into 2023. Kicking things off with the Charlotte kickoff major. The introduction of the Bandit on LAN. We had a year of the BR, ladies and gentlemen. Probably my favorite year. I miss the PRs so much. But we get the Bandit Evo. The Bandit Evo is now the starting weapon. And it'll be the starting weapon throughout the rest of Infinite's competitive life cycle. And Charlotte was the introduction of it. No, Deadline. It was all the Bandito. Renegade, now alongside Snakebite, Royal 2, and Frosty, make their LAN debut, ultimately taking second place. And Optic get the three-peat. Optic get the three-peat. They win Orlando, Worlds, and Charlotte going back to back to back. Year 2 was the BR. Am I dumb? I will take your word for it. Bandit starts for year 3. I appreciate it. Thank you. I sit corrected. I apologize. I sit corrected. See, this is what happens when you're trying to go through all this fucking shit over the past 4 years. You get fucked up. I'll move that right now. Thank you, chat. So Optic with the three-peat. Optic look unstoppable. The question is, who can beat them? We go to the Global Invitational, which is DreamHack Dallas. Turns out Optic don't need to win everything. FaZe get their first win of the year, but it's not a major. It's not a major. Because at Arlington, Arlington, 2023. Optic, you had one job. Optic, as an organization, had one job. And they failed. They failed. What's up, Saint? Welcome back. For those who don't know what I'm alluding to, I truly believe that, and I know I'm talking about my favorite things, but I do want to say this. I do believe that Arlington, from a spectator standpoint in 2023, was the worst event that we've ever had in Infinite's life cycle. Like, I can say that definitively today, that I truly believe that Arlington in 2023 was the worst from a spectator standpoint we've ever had. But FaZe get their second win of the year, this time being their first major as that roster. So again, Renegade joins up with these guys. The question, like, Renegade's full intention was they're going to win a world championship. He goes to these guys because they're proven winners, they're proven champions, and he understands their work ethic. He understands the practice that these players put in. And so the question was, or really, it was just a matter of time. It was just a matter of time until things clicked and they started winning. And it's exactly what started happening. And if I'm not mistaken, I need to look this up real quick. Hold on. I'm going to do it live. God, that beeping is fucking incredibly annoying. That's exactly what I was missing. I knew it. Probably the biggest thing that happened at Arlington in 2023 was the quadrant upset over Optic. And it was fucking insane. It was a loser's bracket match. It went to a game 5. Quadrant eliminating Optic Gaming in their own home event. The place was on fucking fire. The place was on fire. And they didn't stop there. They did not stop there because they also eliminated Sentinels from the event as well. Guaranteeing Quadrant a top 4 placing. Guaranteeing Quadrant a top 4 placing. And to do so in the way that they did. And that was from Losers Round 1. That was from Losers Round 1 as well. They eliminated Shopify, Complexity, Optic, and Sentinels to take home 4th place in that event. That Sentinels roster was, yes, it was Lethal, Spartan, Falcated, and Boo Boo Doo. And that was just incredible. Just fucking incredible. So I gotta tip the cap to them. What an event. What an event for Quadrant, man. Holy shit. What an event for Quadrant. But talking about a team that wins their home event, moving to the Salt Lake City Global Invitational, Space Station, they do it. They win their home event. And from those that attended, myself not being one of them, but from those that attended, I heard that this event was absolutely incredible. And that Space Station as an organization truly put all of their heart and soul into this before they were given the opportunity to put on a major. But congratulations to them. And congratulations to Space Station for putting on such a remarkable event. Because, again, you go from, like, literally a polar opposite, right? You go from Arlington, where Optic really feels like they phoned things in, to you go to Salt Lake City, which was a global invitational. It wasn't even a major. And they put everything, all the creativity into this type of event to make it their own and really make fans feel like they were special going into that event. And it's just really fucking, really, really cool to see. So great job for them. And their team won, which is pretty fucking cool too. Moving into Fort Worth, FaZe being sent home in 4th. Space Station nearly taking out Optic for the back-to-back. But Optic win the event, and they look to repeat what had happened in 2022. Because if history was to be believed, I know it was only 1 year, but if history was to be believed, the team that won the event before Worlds was the team that won Worlds. But Renegade had other plans in mind. And I'll never forget being in the crowd for this win for FaZe. Going into the World Championship, FaZe make history, coming from the losers bracket to win the World Championship that had never been done before. It wasn't losers round 1, but they did come from losers to win. And again, I'll never forget that moment. I'll never forget the chants in the crowd of the na 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 hey hey goodbye. I'll never forget it. It was fucking awesome. It was just fucking awesome. And yeah, it's one of those moments where I'm going to toot my own horn for a second on the prediction that I made, because my prediction was that FaZe were going to win it. And when they got dropped down to losers, when they got dropped down to losers, never forget going over to talk to Royal 2 for just a moment. And like you can and we made the joke that I predicted them to win. He's like, "Why did you do that?" And I'm like, "Well, you got to do it now. You better fucking do it." And to see them pull it out in the way that they did and just being there in that moment was just awesome. It was just fucking awesome. And they were the first. Thanks, Justin. Good band. Lake Disappointment. Go check them out. And yeah, 2023 Worlds is one of my favorite events, period. Just one of my favorite events, period. And the way that it all culminated And the fact that we got to see some of the best Halo, and every year got better. Like every year of Infinite, the competition only got better and better. But just to see FaZe win in the way that they did, and even further cementing those players' legacies, like Snakebite, Royal 2 Frosty, and now with the addition of Renegade. Renegade completing what he said, like what he set out to do with joining that roster in the first place. I mean, don't get me wrong. Fucking love Lethal, and he's one of the greatest players to ever do it as well. I think a lot of people forget about that. But the amount of time, the amount that Lethal has won over the years too, like people need to put some respect on his name. But just to see Renegade go to that squad, knowing the reasons why he went to that squad, where he knew he wasn't going to be able to accomplish it on that Cloud9 roster. He leaves, goes over to FaZe, doesn't have this roster for until 2023. But when 2023 hit, he joins up with that group of guys. And they finish what they had set out to do. In the way that they did it, being dropped down to losers, and there was a lot of doubt in a lot of spectators' minds. It's like, well, a team hadn't done it before, so Optic are probably winning, right? This is probably going to be a back-to-back for Optic. But no. We got to see something truly special happen there, and it was awesome. Congratulations, Sean. You're welcome. And then we go to 2024. Well, actually, first, I believe, chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Stellar won regular season MVP in 2023. I believe. I could be wrong, but I think that's what happened because Legend won in 24. Right? Because Legend won in 24. And then Cycle won in 25 with Renegade winning Halo Infinite MVP. Okay, perfect. See, I'm just I fucked up on the Bandit thing. I got to make sure I get some shit right. You know what I mean? Moving into 2024. Kicking things off with Arlington. Yet again. Yippee. Some truly remarkable things happened at this event as well. And I don't know what it is, but I like EU players in Arlington. EU players in Arlington do some truly special fucking things. This time it's Woodham, being the youngest player in the HCS and the first mouse and keyboard player to make top 6 in Halo history. Also, that was his first LAN event. Just remarkable. And then again, we can't forget, this was Space Station's first HCS major win as an organization. And again, you want to talk about EU players, Legend making history for all players in the EU region by becoming the highest placing EU player in Halo's history. And this was, of course, Bound's first major win as well. Joswa says, 24 the year I joined this beautiful community. Fuck yeah, dude. Let's go. Moving over to London. You guys remember the Spartan SSD situation? You guys remember that? Oh, God. Again, I'm trying to talk about my favorite moments, but I feel like I'd be doing this year a disservice if I didn't at least mention that whole fucking debacle. Another really cool thing happened here, and I got to get the soundbite ready, as a matter of fact, because none other than they sweep BH3 Esports to become the first Australia-New Zealand team to qualify for champ bracket from the open bracket. So congratulations to them. Oh, deadline. We'll talk about that. Yep. The Boo Boo Doo force choke before the series was over. Before the series was over, because then we knew what happened after the force choke had happened. They lost. So that was something. But it was an iconic moment. It was an absolutely iconic moment. It's a moment that's used in HCS promotion material like ever since then. From that point forward, it's always been used in promotional material. And then also FaZe getting back to championship winning form, but SSG showing that they just didn't have a good event because of what SSG proceeded to do for the rest of the year. Going to Atlanta. Actually, no, I want to stick on London just for a second here, because another couple really cool things that had happened during this event was the fucking live band. The live band that was there. Incredible. Like, are you kidding me? It felt like you were at I'm sorry to my how do I explain this? I'm just going to call it soccer. I know. I apologize. I should be calling it football, but I'm not. It from the broadcast, because obviously I wasn't there, but from the broadcast, it felt like you were at a soccer game, but in like this fucking tiny venue. It just, the vibes seemed immaculate. The vibes just seemed immaculate. And it was also, if I'm not mistaken, the first time that both teams were like facing each other on the quote unquote main stage. Like, it was an elevated stage and both teams were sitting across from each other. Because I think, like we had talked about after that event, that we wanted that to be the norm moving forward. Because seeing like the teams being able to have pop-off moments and just shout like directly at the other person across the room is just, it's awesome. It was not the first time, I thought, but like deadline, I thought for how close they were. Again, I could be completely off my rocker right now, but like I thought for like literally how close they were to each other. It was like a main stage in the vibe of a feature station. You know what I mean? Like, that's the vibe that I got. It gave me the vibe as like the main stage in the form of like what a feature station typically looks like. They were closer than normal, but okay, got it. Perfect. Moving into Atlanta. They're one of the most infamous plays in Infinite HCS history. The Lucid overkill after picking up that sniper that Mental attempted to get off the map. This was against Shopify. This was Lucid, top tower on live fire. This is, that clip was fucking incredible. That clip was just absolutely fucking incredible. Elamite said on stream they could hear each other's louder comms and it changed the dynamic of the games. Oh, that's unfortunate, Spring. That's unfortunate. I just like the idea of them sitting like, I don't know. I just like the idea of them sitting directly opposed to one another. Again, from a spectator standpoint, I need to make sure that's emphasized from a spectator standpoint. And then Space Station, they shake the London performance off. They win the event in preparation for their first home major. And this would start the Space Station run. Because we move to Salt Lake City. Cloud9 being 2 kills away. Holy shit. Cloud9 being 2 kills away from eliminating SSG from the tournament with a top 12 finish. SSG being 2 kills away from being sent home with a top 12 finish at their home major. To go from that to becoming the first team in Halo Esports history to go from losers round 1 to winning the entire tournament. SSG swept Optic in the second best of 7 in the grand final. To do so was just incredible. It was just fucking incredible. And I don't, again, chat, you're going to have to keep me honest here. I don't exactly recall if this was the tournament because there could have been multiple out there. But I think this was the tournament where, like, and see, I'd have to go back and watch the post show for this because I believe I talked about it, but it was either this one or it was a different one. But, and I know that Optic were in a lot of second places. But I think it was this one where Lucid just literally shook his head and laughed at like what was happening. And again, maybe I'm wrong here, but there was an event that I specifically recall that moment happening. Juan says, I was dead tired and had to go back to my room for a nap. If I had woken up to SSG out of the tournament by 2 kills, would have been such a different story. Oh my God. Oh, that picture of each SSG player and coach hoisting a trophy and the cup lives rent-free in my head. That year's team was special. It really was. It really was. Yeah, Deadline. I don't know for sure if it was that tournament, but I just know, like, when I saw the look on Lucid's face, I'm like, oh, it's done. Like, it's over. So, but congratulations to SSG. But they weren't done there. Moving into Worlds. The HCS YouTube channel put out a video called Don't Give Stellar the Snipe. If you go watch that, you'll know exactly why. That man is a human highlight reel with the S7. Stellar was genuinely a human highlight reel with the S7. For Optic, this marked 7 consecutive grand finals appearances, and they took second in every event in 2024. And SSG cap off one of the most dominant years in Halo Esports history with a World Championship win in a reverse sweep, no less. They reverse swept Optic to win the World Championship. Also, these last 3 events were the beginning of Last Shot. Oh, that man... You want to talk about trajectory. Him and Cycle. SLC 24, when Penguin played out of his mind while being incredibly sick, might be one of my favorite stories. Oh my God. He literally, his Jordan flu tournament, not just a flu game, it was a flu tournament. Holy shit, man. He played out of his fucking mind that weekend. He played out of his fucking mind that event. Just fuck. And then, like I had stated previously, Legend wins the regular season MVP of 2024. And now we move into 2025. Or I should say 2025. Roster Mania, guys. Roster Mania. When we had the first major domino fall of the quote-unquote God Squad being created for Optic Gaming, Renegade goes over. Bound and Legend go over. They all team up with Formal. And once that domino fell, everything else started to take shape. SSG going through major shakeups. Shopify Rebellion going through major shakeups. FaZe going through major shakeups. Optic obviously went through major shakeups. What was going to happen? What was going to happen? We kick things off with Arlington. Shopify break their Sunday curse. Turns out they just need a whole new roster to make that happen. But they break their Sunday curse. And Optic break their second place curse. Turns out needing a whole new roster to do so. And Optic going from losers round 1 to winning the entire tournament. This being the second time for Bound and Legend. The first time for Renegade and Formal. And this, believe it or not, contrary to what others may believe, this did feel like the beginning of what that God Squad run for Optic would be. Because the question was, okay, they can do it from losers round 1 and they can win the whole thing. They got to be more powerful if they come from winners, right? Spoiler alert, they weren't. They actually didn't perform better at all when they came from the winner's side of the bracket. Just a heads up. But we'll get to that. DreamHack Dallas was an open event, which was basically a major in all but name and prize pool. Optic do it yet again. They go from losers round 1 to winning the entire tournament, this time being the third for Bound and Legend. And this actually marks 5 event wins in a row for Bound and Legend. And if you go back and you listen to the post show or watch the post show for this, then you will hear me saying that I truly believe that this was the best team. I truly did. And I know Best Man is fucking like just enjoying his time right now. Congratulations to you, sir, in more ways than one. But I did. I truly believe that this was going to be, that this was it. If this team can go from losers round 1 back to back and win the entire tournament back to back, I thought there was no stopping them. I believe I specifically said that if they came out of winners, it's game over. Like, you already had chances to beat them when they were at a best of 7 disadvantage into the grand final. God forbid they have a best of 7 advantage. Turns out we never had to really worry about that. So moving into Salt Lake City. What's up, Ronan? Welcome back. We're talking about, now we're on 2020 fat. Moving into Salt Lake City. Believe the hype. Being 1 game away from qualifying for pool play, they ultimately get staked in the game 5 against Ether. But still, an incredible story. I know, the Gunny situation notwithstanding. But before that whole shitstorm took place, right? That was a real, like, Cinderella story for that team, where they had just been formed. They barely had any time for scrims and practice and everything. And they go into Salt Lake City that year, and they were on the cusp of making pool play. Just remarkable. Monza became the first female coach in HCS history to reach pool play. She was alongside Alpha Esports. Congratulations to her. Shopify winning every Slayer in both Winners Final and Grand Final, completely flipping the results from Arlington. And then Shopify shutting down Optic, getting their first event win as an organization, marking the first event win for both Cycle and Last Shot. Then we move into Charlotte, which, FaZe. Oh, FaZe Clan. As an organization, mind you, not the players. As an organization. For those who don't recall, I know it was just a short time ago, Charlotte was the very first weekend of October, if I'm not mistaken. And then Worlds was like 2 to 3 weeks after that. Just, ugh. But we still had some incredible Halo take place, and that's what we're going to focus on. In Charlotte, with the absolute upset over Optic Gaming, it was making even further HCS history, fighting from the open bracket to taking first in their pool. We had no fucking idea this was going to happen. We did not see this coming at all. But again, they go from open bracket to taking first in their pool, upsetting Optic. Just amazing for them. FaZe sending Optic home in third. But then Shopify making quick work of FaZe to win their second event of the year, just in time for Worlds right around the corner. We put a bow on the year. We put a bow on Infinite HCS with the World Championship this year. This is the first time in Infinite HCS history that Penguin did not make a championship Sunday, with FaZe going home with an unprecedented top 12 finish. Space Station also did not show up when needed during bracket play, being sent home with an uncharacteristic top 8 finish. EU continued to make history, with LG securing top 4 for the first time, having to fight their way from losers round 1. Incredible by them. Not to be outdone, though, by Envy. Also having to fight their way from losers round 1 takes an even bigger step, taking home a third place finish, their best placing since returning to the HCS. We had two teams. We had Optic at the beginning of the year going from losers round 1 to winning the event 2 events in a row, to both LG and Envy going from losers round 1 all the way to taking 4th and 3rd at the World Championship. Just fucking awesome. It was just fucking awesome. No, Xerxes. If you're talking about Envy, they didn't have to. They did not have to. Because you don't want, we don't want to talk about Envy in Game 5 situations. They things typically didn't work out for them in that regard. Yeah. Xerxes, they beat LG 4-2 in the losers semis because it was best of 7s on Sunday. That was another really great fucking thing about Worlds this year, is that every series on Sunday was a best of 7. The first time we finally fucking had that. So yeah, they did not have to beat them in a Game 5. They didn't have to beat them in a Game 5. They beat them in a Game 6. But they did it. They fucking did it. So congratulations to them. And then Shopify, with a three-peat of their own, culminating in a World Championship win, the first for Cycle and Last Shot, and the 4th for Royal 2 and Frosty. Hey, girl. Hey, what's up, Snag? Welcome back. Also, fuck you, Snag. Cycle wins regular season MVP. And Renegade wins the Halo Infinite MVP. Both, I think, rightfully deserved. And overall, when I said that every year of Halo Infinite, the competition only got better and better and better, I truly mean that. So much so that, yes, overall, each year it really felt like there was two teams that could be fighting for first, right? We never really had a moment where it felt like four teams were fighting for that first place spot or whatever. It was typically two teams. Like at the beginning of the year, we'd always think there'd be more opportunity, but as probably around midway through the year, it's like, oh, yep, just seems like it's these two teams that are fighting for that first place. And even with that being the case, the fact that every year was a new world championship winner, yes, some of the players may have remained the same, but each roster was technically different, with 2022 being Optic Gaming, 2023 being FaZe, 2024 being SSG, and 2025 being Shopify, was just awesome. It was really fucking cool to see. And I feel like it's going to sound stupid, but like I feel honored and privileged to be able to witness the gameplay and the talent over these last 4 years. And it sucks because on the one hand, yeah, I could obviously sit here and say, oh, why the fuck? Like, oh, the HCS should have brought in a year 5. Like they really fumbled this. They dropped the ball, blah, blah, blah. This is all their fault. No. At the end of the day, all this shit costs money. And I would love to have a year 5. But I also sat here over a year ago and said that I didn't think we were going to get a year 4. I never thought we were going to get a year 4. I thought that 2024 was going to be the end of it. Because we have never had a 4th year of official competition in any mainline Halo title. We'd never had it before. And so I went into, before the announcement was made that there was going to be a year 4, I went into it thinking that that was going to be the end. We'd have 3 different winners. SSG had one of the greatest years of all time. We're capping it off. Infinite had a great run. Looking forward to whatever's next. And then the announcement came that no, we're going to do something unprecedented. And we're going to do one more year. But they didn't say that. They didn't say it was going to be the last year initially. They didn't just say that right away. Instead, midway through the year, they came out, and again, I respect them for this, and I appreciate them for this, is that they came out about midway through the year and announced that, hey, this is going to be the final year of official Infinite competition. Set your expectations accordingly. And they were some of the best 4 years of Halo that I've ever had the pleasure of watching. And I've ever had the pleasure of witnessing. How different would it have been if they, Halo Studios, announced it's the final season before the first major? I don't know, Xerxes. I don't know. I don't think it matters that much, to be honest. Like I said, frankly, I'm just glad they announced it ahead of time. Because think about it this way, like, there was a lot of discourse when the announcement took place, when it did, where a lot of people were like, why did you announce it now? Now people aren't going to care anymore. Like, you should have just waited till the season was over. I think it would have looked way worse if they did that. I think it would have looked way fucking worse if they waited till after Worlds to be like, hey guys, we're done. Peace out. But no. Instead, they come out and they say, hey, we're going to set expectations right now. Midway through the year, they come out with an official statement. We're like, hey, after the World Championship this year, official HCS competition is done. We look forward to whatever's coming next for in the future. And then at Worlds this year, they come out and say, hey, while official HCS competition is over, that doesn't mean that competition in general is done, because it's not. Instead, here's a couple announcements for a couple Dream Hacks. Here's an announcement for Halo Fest, which is also going to have an invitational. Here's the grassroots organizations that we're going to be partnering with in 2026. And here are the partnered organizations that we're going to be partnering with in 2026. So like I said, I respect and appreciate the way in which they made their announcement. And I'm very grateful and I'm very thankful for the announcement that they made at Worlds as well. Because they just could have guys, we could have had a Halo 5 situation all over again. Where it was, after that World Championship, after that final World Championship, here's a fucking couple DreamHack events and bye-bye. That sucked. That really fucking sucked. But at least now we have an official announcement. And I know it feels like it's the bare minimum, but at least we got it. Because trust me, we didn't get the bare fucking minimum. We didn't get the bare fucking minimum when it came to Halo Fest ticket announcements. I'll tell you that much right now. I'll tell you that much right now. Yeah, fuck you, Justin. Oh my God. I was texting Goalie Sniper. That's why. That's silence. Fuck you. But yes, it is Moxfield, by the way. So yeah, I'm just thankful we got an announcement. I am. And I know that Worlds 25 in some regards did kind of feel like a bittersweet moment, where this is the last time in a while that everybody's going to be getting together. But at the same time, I didn't want to treat it that way. You know what I mean? And so, like I said, I'm very thankful and I'm very grateful for the past 4 years. And don't get me wrong, like I'm an old head of watching MLG back in the day when I was younger and whatnot. And I grew up through the Halo 2, Halo 3 era and kept going, obviously. And I've been through the dark times of Halo 4 and Halo 5 and all that. It's just Halo Infinite's HCS run was simply incredible. It truly felt like everybody, from the talent to the operations to the production to the gameplay itself, everybody was on the top of their game. And I know that I could sit here and make fun of all the technical difficulties that had happened with the game and the PCs and everything, but just knowing the amount of heart and the amount of passion and the amount of work ethic that everybody put into making these events what they were, it never went unnoticed. And I truly, like, these last 4 years have been life-changing in a way as well. And so I'll never take them for granted. I'll never take them for granted. I'm still upset that the code for my Mountain Dew Code Red skin didn't work. You mean the Game Fuel? The Game Fuel skin? If so, that fucking sucks. I love that skin. Oh, man. So, yeah. Thank you, Halo Infinite, as dumb as that sounds. Thank you to the HCS. As much as I dunk on you guys from time to time, as much as I dunk on Halo Studios from time to time, I do it out of respect. I do it out of respect. I do it out of the attempt at holding people accountable, wanting the best possible for the scene and for the community. And just know that I appreciate you all very fucking dearly. And I've said it before and I'll say it a million fucking times, that this show would not be what it is without you all that are in the chat, that take the time to listen to the show, that take the time to watch the show, that are in the Discord, whatever it may be. This show would not be what it is without you. So thank you. And on a future episode, I'll take a trip down memory lane and provide some of my favorite moments, like, outside the events. Because I think gotta reminisce about the sport mode story. Snag is here, gotta reminisce about Killer Queen. All that fun shit. A lot of really cool moments happened over the last 4 years. A lot of really cool fucking moments happened over the last 4 years. I think it might be time that we peel back the curtains a little bit and really dive into some things that had happened. Snacks says, met some of the most genuine humans on this planet because of this game. Hella grateful. Oh, and Josh. Yeah. Fuck. Oh my God. Oh my God. Fuck you. Oh. Oh man. I definitely was in the same room with Josh at some point during Halo Infinite. Probably, you know? And that's the best part too, Deadline, is that to anybody, and I truly mean this too, like to anybody that, there's a reason why I say time and time again that if you have an opportunity to go to one of these events, that you should go to the event. If you have the means to, I implore you to go. Because not only is there nothing else quite like it, the fact that everybody is under the same roof, everybody loves this fucking scene, everybody loves this game, everybody loves their players and their teams and so on and so forth, and we're all there for the same thing. But also it gives you an opportunity to meet people. It gives you an opportunity to meet people that, like, whether it be like people from a podcast or the casting desk or a stream, whatever it may be, it gives you an opportunity, or friends that you met over Xbox Live or Steam that you've never had the opportunity to meet before in real life, and you just play Halo all the time together. It gives you those opportunities to meet people and actually talk to them and share your experiences with them. And that, it's those moments. It's those moments specifically that mean more to me. They mean more to me personally than anything. Like, yeah, the Halo's great to watch. It got better every year. Like, the Halo's amazing. It's why we're all there. But it's the moments that I have interacting with you that they're truly, and I don't mean to blow smoke up your all asses, but it is my favorite thing, period. I've had some of the best conversations with folks in my entire life over the past 4 years. I've had some of the most meaningful, some of the most deep, some of the most in-depth conversations, not just about Halo, but about life with you guys over the past 4 years. And I've had some of the most impactful over Worlds Weekend this year. That really put a lot of things into perspective for me personally. And those conversations would not have happened if we didn't have this scene, if we didn't have the HCS putting on these events. That's why I'm forever grateful. That's why while I'll criticize the absolute shit out of them for things that I don't feel are right, it's while I'll have an internal gratitude towards them for what they allowed us to come together for. So that's why I say thank you all the time to you guys. So to anybody that listens or watches this episode particularly, just understand that's why. That's the exact reason why I thank you all every single time I have the opportunity to do so. So thank you. I'm not a crier, so don't think I'm going to be crying, but that's as close as it's going to become. Fucking love you guys. Ryan's, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show. Apologies that you stopped in during a sappy time. That beeping is going to drive me fucking crazy. You're too kind, Snag. Far too kind. Deb, I appreciate you, sir. Thank you. And thank you for the Commander games. Just another cool fucking thing that happened from fucking SLC. Like the fact that coming together for a Halo event can turn into having a group of folks dedicated to playing fucking Magic the Gathering now. Like what? What? Just God damn it, man. God, I fucking love you guys. This is just dumb in the best way possible. Now Josh hates me because it's true. It's true. I refuse to play against Diode if he's playing with one of his two BS decks. Snag says, one day I'll get back in there and have possibly 3 dragons. Oh my God. Josh, ever been woken up at 2 a.m. by a pizza delivery person trying to deliver pizza at the wrong address on a LAN? We'll reminisce about that someday, much to my chagrin. Fuck you, John. Don't make me take away your mod status, you bastard. Oh, man. Oh, shit. All right. All right, I'm done with the sappy shit. We'll have more time for sappy stuff. Maybe we'll do it next week. Maybe we'll reminisce about like favorite moments outside of events next week. It'll be after Christmas. We'll all get to talk about Christmas and stuff, hang out, have a good time. I didn't even turn on my fucking lights. Damn it. What am I doing? Damn it. Next week. Next week I'll turn them on. I know about being woke up by Josh at 2 a.m. because Riz and I didn't lock the door. Thank God Ash did. Hey, it was great, though. You're welcome. You're welcome. That's good to hear, John. That's good to hear. I just have PTSD from that fucking deck. All right, that's it for the topic. Let's move into some, I think, regular news. Once I get back to the fucking correct screen here. Halo Edge of Dawn. The new book is out now. This is by Halo Studios. And they put out an updated version of the official Halo book guide, also by Halo Studios. Go check that out. I love how you guys are trying to make me believe that Diode has somehow reverted his ways. I refuse to believe it. I'm just kidding. I upgraded again. But John and I changed it back. Okay, good. Diode looked at me and be like, nah, fuck this. I want this back in there. This back in there. John's like, no. One too much. Halo Edge of Dawn is out right now. And the really cool thing here is that the audiobook, I will say, I'm very early on. I know Justin has finished it, which he's a madman. I know that they're not long, but he is a madman. But I am on chapter 4. Oh my God. Still early on. But the thing that I want to state about it is that I have to give a shout out to the audiobook here, because for me, an audiobook, it's make or break for me based on the narrator, based on the narration choice. And the beautiful part about this is that while there is an overarching narrator for this novel, they also brought in the voice actors for the main characters in the book. So Jen and Steve voice the weapon, or Joy, and the Master Chief, obviously. And then the pilot's voice actor is also in the novel as well. So just a very cool thing there. And if you're interested in audiobooks, this is a good one to listen to. It has the characters actually there with their voices and everything, voicing their characters as they would be in the game. So very cool there. But yeah, the book's okay. Right now, it's okay. I will say there is, like Justin had mentioned in a different chat, there is a moment that happens very early on that does leave a very sour taste in my mouth regarding a character. So that's unfortunate. But other than that, book's okay so far. Doing a lot of recapping. It's doing a lot of recapping of what happened in Infinite, which is not necessarily a bad thing if you want a refresher, but that's all that's being done right now. So, yippee. That's it for the regular news. Time for Got Games Watch! First, a roster announcement. That being Stallions Red. It is Havoc, Swooty, Encourage, and Legend. Legend has found his way onto a different roster this time around. This is a Challengers roster. Havoc is well known within the scene. So hope to see them have some success on that front. Ross, thank you so much for the 18-month resub. You get a woo! Greatly appreciated, sir. Welcome back. Good to see you. And then also what I would like to do here is I want to provide a moment. So typically with COD and Other Games Watch, we'll talk about the COD scene. We'll talk about how bad the rocker are, blah, 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 make funs and jokes and all that shit. But I want to be serious here for a minute. An industry icon we learned has tragically passed away. Vince Zampella, for those who don't know, was a co-founder of Infinity Ward, founder of Respawn, and as of recently, was a part of the Battlefield team over at EA to jumpstart and reinvigorate the Battlefield franchise and helped ship Battlefield 6. And Vince has tragically passed away. My thoughts and condolences are with Vince's family. I think that goes without saying. But I want people to understand the impact that Vince has had in video games as an art form and as a medium itself. Vince was a pioneer in the first-person shooter genre. Vince helped make Call of Duty to be as we know it is today. And I know people have their gripes with Call of Duty today and like, oh, it feels the same as every year, blah, blah, blah. I need you to think about this for a second. Vince was at the forefront of the blueprint of what original Modern Warfare was. COD 4, Modern Warfare. To go from that which redefined the FPS genre for the modern day, to then eventually make your way and found a brand new studio in Respawn Entertainment. And you proceed to do it again to the FPS genre, this time with Titanfall. And the only shitty part about Titanfall is that they released Titanfall and Titanfall 2 at the worst possible times to make it so there was less hands and less eyes on those games when they released. That was the only downside of Titanfall and Titanfall 2, is that there were, like, it didn't sell as much as other titles because they came out at the fucking wrong time. But they were incredible. They were incredible. And again, the way that he was a true pioneer in the FPS genre. To go from COD 4 to go to Titanfall and Titanfall 2 to go to Apex Legends to then go to EA and take a franchise that people have been so down on over the years, and for him to step in and realize that we are going to go back to what Battlefield does best and release the top-selling game of the year. To release the top-selling game of the year. Selling better than NBA 2K. Selling better than Madden. Selling better than Black Ops. Vince did it again. I saw a lot of sentimental posts from industry veterans and industry folks talking about their experiences with Vince and their relationship with Vince. And everything was glowing and praising and amazing. And it's wonderful to hear that Vince was that type of person, like outside of game dev. From everything that I've read and everything that I've seen, it truly looked like Vince gave a shit. He gave a shit about what people were creating. He gave a shit about what people wanted. He gave a shit about the FPS genre. He gave a shit about what he was doing as somebody in game dev and as a person. Vince had a profound impact that is, frankly, it's immeasurable. The amount of impact he's had on video games as a modern fucking art form. And I just hope people understand that. I hope people realize that. That I understand it wasn't just Vince. Like, it took a village, right? It took an entire development team, an entire QA team, an entire artist team, design team, everyone coming together to create these games. But Vince was at the forefront of all of these experiences. He had a hand in every single one of these monumental masterpieces to release. And he was taken away from us far too soon. So Vince, thank you so much for everything that you've accomplished and everything that you've done to push the genre forward and to be unapologetically you. And that's where I'll leave that. It's always hard to move back into the joyous stuff after a talk like that, but it's time to get into some shout-outs. Happy belated birthday to Brooks. Happy belated birthday to you, sir. We love you. And happy belated birthday to Formal as well. Congratulations to Ash. I don't think he's expecting this in the show, but I'm going to give him the shout out. Congratulations to Ashaman on completing every Halo achievement that is obtainable. He is one of the very few people in the world to have accomplished that task. And that's fucking insane and remarkable. Congratulations to you, sir. Also, just another genuinely great fucking person is Ash. Shout out to everyone who joined in the 8s that have been happening over the course of the last week or so. Shout out to everyone who joined in the community playdate. We did an early playdate, as a matter of fact, this week. We did a playdate on Thursday, and it was popping. People were fucking showing up. It was a great time. Hope everyone had some fun. I had some fun. Had some laughs, as always. So thank you all for being there. Greatly appreciated. Especially on an early one. And then, of course, shout out to everyone who followed and subbed during the live show. That includes Foam Forge, thank you for the follow. Spring with the 24-month resub. Rad with the 12-month resub. Hardy with the 12-month resub. Onset with the 6-month resub. 40 Ounces of Freedom with the 2 gifted subs. Spring and Rad, thank you all for the bits. Dip with the 7-month resub, Hardy with the 5 gifted subs, Ryan's with the follow, and Rasta with the 18-month resub. You all get a woo! Greatly appreciated. Thank you so fucking much. Community creations. Just a couple. Halo memes every day. Reddit.com/r/Halo memes. Go check them out. And then Formal, built for LAN, every Halo Infinite highlight. This is by the HCS. If you want to go see some Formal highlights, and there are a few. Make sure to go check that out as well. Oh, we made it. That beeping is driving me fucking nuts. There is a smoke detector that the battery is either low or out on. And it just started before we started recording the episode of the show. And it's been driving me fucking insane ever since. So I'm going to go take care of that. But first, got to plug the show. You can find us on all your favorite podcast services. Just search for HCS Pro Talk. We're on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, Stitcher, all of them, including my favorite, Pocket Casts. It's still not an ad. It'll never be an ad. I'm giving them free advertisement. Go get the application because I love it. We have a link tree. Go check it out. All the social links are over on there, including the Discord, Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, which is right here, TikTok, and the merch, which will always remain available. And again, very special shout out to everybody who is still purchasing the merch, especially the Josh's Joggers. I hope you guys enjoy them as much as I do. I wear them all the fucking time. And I know like this feels like a shameless plug, but I think they're very comfortable. And if they weren't, I wouldn't have them on the shop. So you can take that for what you will. Make sure to change all of them. Otherwise, you're going to have random smoke detectors beeping over the next few months. It's funny, Halo guy. Because I was of that mentality, but I don't know. I feel like one goes off and then the other one will go off, like another one will go off like a year later. Oh, it's weird. They're not in unison right now. I can tell you that much. And then, of course, you can head over to hcsprotalk.com, which will take you to haloevolved.co, your home for Halo. You can check out Podcast Evolved shows, including Podcast Evolved, Mission Debrief, Halo TV Plus, Book Club, Builds with Blocks, Halo Headlines, and Halo Gear Guide. Go check it out. Because they're great. And they do lore stuff. And I don't. But they do. So you should go listen and watch their stuff too. All right. That's it. That's all I got. Thank you all for joining me for this week's episode of the show. Thank you for taking a trip down memory lane with me as we recapped some of the greatest moments over the last 4 years of Infinite. No, shout out to you, Juan. Fucking love you. Yeah, I'm thinking next week we're going to keep the trip down memory lane going, and we're going to talk about things that happened outside of events. We'll go deeper. We'll go deep. All right. It'll be fun. Oh man. Let's see how much I can fucking remember. We'll see how much I can remember, which is probably not a lot because my memory's ass. We'll find out. You guys can jog my memory on shit too. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for me. To those that celebrate the holidays, stay safe. I know it goes without saying, but it can be, as I have come to learn very quickly, as the holidays roll around, it feels like the crazies come out in terms of like driving on the road. So please be safe out there. And this is going to sound dumb because I know we're all adults here, but don't drive under the influence. Okay. Like have a sober cab, call a friend, call a parent, whatever it may be. And just make sure you're safe out there. And even if you're not celebrating the holidays this week, just try to talk to or interact with a loved one, whoever they may be. A parent, a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, a friend, a long distance partner, whatever it may be. Just let you know you love them. Life's too short. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for me. Happy holidays. I'll catch you next week. But until then, bye-bye.